Hello again, and welcome to another edition of Today's Reps, an extension of the H3 Leader podcast, where my intent is to share a couple quick thoughts for your consideration. Today's thought: invest versus spend. You see, I think there's a mindset shift that takes us out of one of those realms into the other that we need to be mindful of. When we are investing in something, we are giving our resources, time, money, energy, whatever it may be, and expecting some sort of positive return on that investment, some compounding, something additional. But when we spend, we are accepting either an even exchange or maybe even a less than exchange, but that's okay. In our mind, in our spirit, we have agreed to that and we're okay with that. And I'm not saying that spending should never happen. There are times when that makes sense. I would say that we should never waste, but that's another conversation for another day. We're talking about invest versus spend. But I would suggest to you that if we can move a good portion of our spending transactions over into investment transactions, that we would be in a better place in life. That compounded return that we're anticipating, even if it doesn't come through every single time, would simply add to the experience of life that we have. So what does it mean to intentionally consider moving from a spending mentality to an investment mentality? How about in our relationships, with our kids, with our spouses, with our peer group, with our friends? How do we take a look at those times together and take that mental shift from spending time with them to investing in them? How do we take our physical activities, maybe even our exercise routines, that I'm going to go spend some time at the gym? Well, really? Okay. That might be okay for some, and in some cases. But what would it look like to take an investment mentality into that space? To know that you are investing time and energy, and in some cases money, to improve yourself. How about when we're reading? When we are taking an input? Am I just spending time listening to a podcast or reading a good book? Or can I take that time and energy and invest in my mental, emotional, and spiritual development? What does that look like? What does that feel like? How does that slight mental shift change my approach and also the results that I get out of it? Now, what I think we need to be careful of is turning everything into some sort of business transaction. That's not my point at all. It's simply the mental adjustment that says there is greater value on the other side of this if I just change my mindset a little bit and understand that I can actually invest in relationships, in development, in other activities in my life that are already going on, and just make that mental shift from spending to investing. That's something for us to think about anyway. We're not going to do it perfectly, but we can do a little better each day, right? Because we know every day is training day. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.